What's up, everybody? Yo, I was watching that guy, the dude named, I don't know his name, Cholly. I don't know. He, Charlie be sitting in the front audience, and he be taking questions and answers about racism and stuff like that in America, and he always does pretty good. But the main reason he does well is because people fail to realize, like, this is America. The country was built on racism. It was founded on racism. That's what it was founded on. And he always talk about how bad it is in black neighborhoods. That's by design. He's not saying anything slick. It's always been an uneven playing field. That's where the word race comes from. A race is a competition. A race means to compete. You must compete in your perspective with your perspective class of people. Race means to compete, and that's what we're doing. We're competing for wealth and resources, and the race has always been uneven. White people always had the upper hand. And I was thinking about something. Like they were saying about immigrants this, immigrants that. Black people, by definition and term, are not immigrants. And you always see boatloads of Europeans coming to America looking for a better way of life. You've never seen a boatload of black people coming to America looking for a better way of life. Never. You always see boatloads of immigrants, and now you got more immigrants coming now. And Trump is kicking, he's kicking the Latinos out, Hispanics out, Mexicans out. He's kicking Mexicans out, and inviting people from Africa, white Africans. He's inviting white Africans to come live in America. You've never seen boatloads of black people coming into America. You always seen boatloads of white people coming to live in America for a better way of life. And it makes it seem like they're coming to work hard, but they don't come to work hard. That's a lie. They can stay in their own country and work hard. Why would you go to another country to work hard? Stay in your own country and work hard. They come here because they're going to receive unearned benefits. They're going to receive benefits that they didn't have to work for. They get homes, they get food, they get clothes, they get land. Black people never got all of that. But then Charlie Kirk, that's his name, he talks about all the negative things black people do, and in black neighborhoods. Well, black people was never got free land. We never got free land or free homes. We never got all that like European white people come here, like these white Russians come here now, like these people you got here from Sarajevo or wherever they from. They get land, they get food, they get food stamps, they get clothes, they get every damn thing. They get everything. Well, I don't know about all that, but they get money. They get vouchers. They get everything they need to get on their feet. Black people never got that. Black people never got a helping hand as a group to get on our feet. Never. We never got free land. We never got homes and all that. They get everything they need to get on their feet. That's why they do well. They should do well. And like I said, they came and they got work, and they formed unions, and they formed white-only unions to make it more specific. But the problem is that they never bring this up at the panel. And then they say you want to talk about the past. Well, the Constitution is based on the past, and they get everything they need to help get on their feet. If you gave black people everything they need to get on their feet, I'm sure we would do well. But they know there's a direct link between crime and poverty, and their whole thing is to keep black neighborhoods poverty-stricken. That's why they do that. That's why you go in a black neighborhood. Like I said, long as I lived in Harlem, I seen Jewish-owned businesses come through Harlem as a chain, as a group. I seen Jewish-owned businesses. And then after first it was black-owned. First a lot of businesses was black-owned. I remember that. But then they went from being black-owned to being Jewish-owned. Then they went from being Jewish-owned to being... They went from being Jewish to being Asian. You had a lot of Asian businesses in the hood in Harlem. Then you went from being Asian to being Hispanic. Then you went from being Hispanic to being Arab, and now you got all the Arab businesses in the hood. But I seen all these groups at one time or another own businesses in the hood. That's how it is, and they know it's gonna be. They know the black neighborhood is gonna be bad because it's crime. It's gonna be crime written because it's no money. They know that. Charlie Kirk know that, and they get up there and make these arguments to make it seem like black people are so bad. And then another thing is they make it seem like Trump keep bragging about how he's a he's a business genius, but that he's the prime example of like what Claude Anderson was saying. Any white man in America with a scheme in his head and persevere, they can become successful. They can become rich, they become broke, they become rich, they get broke, they become rich, they get broke, they become rich. They can do it over and over again. And Trump is a prime example of a person that does that. He goes up, he become broke, rich, do it over and over again. But back to Charlie Kirk, that's what they do. They get some people on the panel and they talk about how bad black, and they got this new guy, some new black dude, or Arab, he looked like an Arab or something. And he talk about how bad black people are doing. They know that the country has think tanks, and these think tanks socially engineer black people to be at the lowest level of a real life monopoly game. They do everything they possibly can to keep black people on the bottom through social engineering. When black slaves were released from slavery, what we get? When black slaves were released, they get nothing. They always talk about, well, it was the Republicans that freed the slaves. The Republicans freed the slaves. Yes, they freed the slaves, but what did they free the slaves with? They freed them with absolutely nothing. They had no home, no land, no clothes, no food, no tools, no guns, and no friends. You had to start behind the 8 ball. But they don't ever bring that up. And then if you bring that up, just say you're talking about the past. But like I said, the Constitution is based on the past. Everything is based on the past.